Good morning, everybody. Welcome to České Budějovice. Welcome to a conference from vision to reality, which is highlight the summit, the culmination of our common project, VReduMED. Welcome all partners, welcome all participants, welcome to everybody from online space. First, welcome to the Faculty of Education, University of South Bohemia. And I would like to invite and present our first speaker or first person, very important person for us, because it's our beloved and excellent dean, I think best dean that we ever have, Associate Professor Dr. Helena Koldová. Place is yours.
Dear colleagues, I am very happy to welcome you for the Faculty of Education of University of South Bohemia for our final conference on virtual reality in healthcare. We are also very happy to host experts, researchers who are shaping the future of health and medical care through innovative technologies. Virtual reality opens new possibilities for diagnosis, treatment, education, and patient well-being. And I hope so that this meeting is a great place to share experiences and start new interdisciplinary collaborations. I wish you an inspiring day with many good discussions and successful meeting here in South Bohemia and here at our faculty. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for nice words. Thank you very much. And I have to introduce our another very important person from our university, which is Vice Dean Zuzana Freitinger-Skalická, Vice Dean of Faculty of Health and Social Science. Welcome to our conference. Thank you very much. We have another speaker here to say hello and welcome, which is a very important person for our project. It's Dr. Karel Štix, who is the director of Secondary Medical School and Higher Vocational Medical School in České Budějovice. Please come to the stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear Dean of a faculty, dear colleagues and guests, it's a great honor for me to greet you at the final conference dedicated to VR, entitled Virtual Reality Education and Training Solutions for Medicine Sector. I would like to warmly greet all partners organizations from the European Union countries that have actively participated in this project. The main mission that unites us here is the introduction of virtual reality as a human-centered innovation into education in helping professions. I am proud that our team of professional teachers has also participated in this project. It is thanks to their commitment and close cooperation with the management of the medical school in České Budějovice and our external IT partners that we have managed to build modern simulation center. For 26 years, my personal vision has been not only to prepare future medical professionals in the best material and technical conditions, but also to open the doors to public education. Our goal is to address primary and secondary school pupils and students, but now university students and the general public as well. My wish is to connect theory with practice as naturally as possible and fulfill the timeless motto of Jan Amos Comenius, school through play. I believe that today's conference will be an inspiration for further steps in the modernization of the Czech and European healthcare system. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your kind words. Of course, this conference is not just about speech, about lectures, but you see vision to reality. We want to introduce you our vision that was transformed to reality. After a few speech, you will have opportunity to try our hands-on workshops, try our apps in virtual reality. And I very recommend you to try everything you can see here in this conference because it's amazing, let's say, products of our project. But now I have to introduce you the most important person for our project because it's a main coordinator of lead partner, which is JVTP here in České Budějovice. And this person is named Matouš Radimec. Welcome. And Matouš will say us something about this project, who are partners, what are goals, and everything about our project.
Thank you very much.
Welcome, Matouš. Here is a presenter, if you wish.
Thank you.
And
perfect.
Stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Let me say a few words to welcome you, and after that we will proceed to a presentation of the main outputs of the project. So, dear ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, it's my great pleasure to welcome you to our final conference of the VReduMED project, which was co-funded by the Interreg Central Europe program. And it's dedicated to virtual reality and its use in education, in medicine, and in caretaking. I'm truly grateful that you could join us today. Whether you are here as an expert, as a practitioner, as an educator, student, as a university professor, we are all here to actually explore how immersive technologies, which VR definitely is, are shaping the future of learning. When this project began, we shared a common ambition to explore how virtual reality can move the experimentation beyond and become a practical, meaningful tool. The tool that supports professionals, empowers learners, and ultimately improves the quality of life. Over the past 3 years, we have seen that VR is no longer a novelty, a curiosity, but it's a tool that can provide us with a safe and repeatable training environments for medical and caregiving professionals. It also provides an innovative educational tool that enhances engagement and understanding and knowledge retention. And last but not least, it's a supportive instrument that can be used in therapy, in care, where empathy, experience, and the human connection are really important. What makes these projects particularly special is it's not the technology itself, the VR, but it's the collaboration behind the scenes. We have brought together experts from different countries, from different disciplines and different sectors. They are medical professionals that work side by side with educators, with practical caregivers, with the researchers, but also the developers of VR solutions. Together, we tested ideas, we learned from failures, and refined the solutions, you will later see, and adapted them to real-world needs. This cooperation reflects the core values of the Interreg Central Europe program, that the innovation grows strongest at the intersection of knowledge, or at the intersection of sectors, and in practice and diversity. Today's conference is not just a formal conclusion of the project, which it definitely is, but it is also an opportunity to share the results of our project, to share the experience we learned during the project implementation. There is also room to discuss the findings, what we did not, and yeah, maybe also talk about what is coming next. Because definitely this is not the end of use of virtual reality, and exploring its possibilities, it's one of the steps. Because the end of the project is not actually the end of its impact. Quite the opposite. The impact starts now because most of the outputs of the projects are ready and are ready to be tested and ready to be shown. The challenges in healthcare, education, and caretaking still remains significant. There are demographic changes we fight with, staff shortages. There are increasing demands on quality of the social care. These issues are still there. They didn't disappear, but we have shown that the virtual reality can be part of the solution how to deal with these challenges. When it is designed to be, when it's designed to be responsible, to be user-friendly, and implemented with people as at its center and not the technology. I encourage you today to be open, to be curious, to ask questions, to provide ideas, and to challenge what you will see, because we do not claim that we have come to perfect results. There is still room for improvements, for upgrades. And yeah, maybe that can be a seed for new projects, new ideas, new applications. So let me conclude by sincerely thanking everyone who contributed to our journey. And it's our project partners that are scattered among you. It's the experts, the trainers that helped us, the VR developers that were dealing with our requirements, pilot users that helped us to test our solutions and gave us very important feedback. And last but not least, the funding bodies that provided us to actually use all these, make use of all these resources. I wish you an inspiring conference, fruitful discussions. Hopefully there will be a lot of discussions around, especially during the workshops. And yeah, we all wish to have the virtuality to be used more often, more frequently, to support better medicine, better education, and better care across Europe. Thank you very much, and enjoy the conference. Now I would like to tell you the main outputs of the project. Thank you for the moment. What were the main goals of the project? As mentioned before, it's a project that deals with using virtual reality in social care, in caregiving, in medicine. And so our main goal was to bring together the stakeholders, to create a network of these stakeholders, to actually allow for deeper cooperation. And this deeper cooperation resulted in provision of tools for implementation of VR technology into educational processes. During the project, we also needed to map the actual use of virtual reality among our stakeholders. We gathered good practices who do something very worth to repeat and worth to be spread out. And yeah, that's and demonstrate them as successful use cases. And one of the most important outputs, or main goals, was to create pilot VR applications that we've developed, we've tested, and during the workshops that starts around the lunchtime, you will see the result, and you can provide us feedback, which we really appreciate. Who are we? As mentioned, it's an international project. It was funded by Interreg Central Euro program. You might know that Interreg Central Europe actually includes most of the Central European countries. Sorry. So, small break. So, who are the partners? So the lead partner, as mentioned by Vojta, is the South Bohemian Science and Technology Park. It is the lead partner of the whole project. Another project from another partner from South Bohemia is the University of South Bohemia, who is the host of today's final conference. Then we've got our partners from Austria, which is a Business Upper Austria from Linz, and Education Group from Linz as well. Our Slovakian partners are the University of Economics in Bratislava and National Institute for Children's Diseases in Bratislava, which is a very renowned place for dealing with diseases of children. Our German partners consist of Sensoric Bayern and Ostbayerische Technische Hochschule, both based in Regensburg. And also Hungarian partners, which is the Inoskart company, which provided us with great support regarding the communication of the project, and Széchenyi István University in Győr. So 5 project countries, 10 partners, and but that's the project consortium. We needed also our stakeholders, and our target groups were mostly these, as you see. They were higher education institutions, research organizations, secondary schools, also smaller to medium enterprises, hospitals and medical centers, experts, and public authorities. So, without further ado, let's have a look to the main achievement which I've achieved over past 3 years. First, we mapped how the VR is used in the partner countries. We have created an interactive map where all 5 project countries are represented, provided their data. The map is available online. It is still available. You can check even now. And it's created in the ArcGIS platform. I'm sorry. And it provides extensive filtering option. You can see, well, it's for those who like graphs, numbers, and likes to see how the things are changing. That's exactly the tool. But it's not just for playing, but it's a valuable source of data on how VR is used in our countries, in project countries. Based on this mapping, we gathered 25 good practice examples that are the examples of, from all project countries. And there you can see how different organizations use VR in different circumstances, different environments, but still managed to use it very well. And it included schools, universities, VR developers that also provide us with some good practices, caretaking practitioners, hospitals, and medical centers. All these presented good practices that were very worth for our goals. Here you can see some of the examples. Later on, we also promised to create some practical tools for implementers of VR in education, in caregiving, in medicine. So we created 2 strategic documents, and they are a roadmap and a handbook. While the roadmap is more about how to implement VR on larger scale, the handbook provides very practical tools and tips how to use VR in organizations, in schools, what to do, what is needed to focus on when using the VR, because definitely there are still technical challenges and other. So these strategic documents provide this kind of information to the readers. The knowledge that we gathered in these two documents are based on the roundtables we organized with our stakeholders, with good practices we gathered, also from the pilot testing of our applications, and the pilot testing actually provided us very valuable stakeholder feedback. Full versions of both documents will be available on the website in March 2026, when the project is officially ending. At the moment, they are still being refined and polished, so they will be available soon. We also set up a care education forum. What is it? We wanted to gather the experts, stakeholders, caregivers, whoever who is involved in caregiving, in medicine, also who is involved in developing of VR applications. We wanted to gather them to one place so they can exchange knowledge. Then we can inform them on project activities and other activities, and also to provide us with feedback, and especially the feedback for the pilot applications, because the feedback from the field, from the experts, practitioners, and all the target groups I've already mentioned, was very valuable when we were bug fixing the applications, we were upgrading it, improving it to actually reflect the real life needs. And as mentioned several times before, we have developed two virtual reality applications within the course of the project. The first one is VR CPR Junior, which is good or used for practicing cardiopulmonary resuscitation of babies and teenagers. With this application, we found sort of a gap in the market, because there are several virtual VR applications for resuscitation, but none of them actually deals with teenagers, and definitely not with babies, because there are quite big differences in the processes of resuscitation of these age groups. And as our piloting have shown, we probably scored a hit, because they were found very useful and very useful for our target groups. The second application was the Room of Horror, which, despite its creepy name, it's not that bad. It's a practicing of care facility staff for discrepancies in a hospital room. Imagine that you get a VR set, you are allowed into a virtual room, and you are supposed to find mistakes or discrepancies that are there. It can be a liquid spilled on the floor. It can be, I don't know, medicine without a label that you don't know what is inside, and these kind of errors. The application can be randomized, so you can, for example, allow several students, and they do not know, cannot ask the other what was the mistakes, because they are different all the time, or in different order. And there is also a mode for testing, where you get a time limit, and you don't get any clues, and you have to find as many errors as possible in as short a time as possible. So these two applications will be available in the workshop rooms, and you will have the opportunity to test them and provide us with feedback if you have any. Pilot testing was also a very important part of our activities, because when we developed the applications, we needed to test them. So we turned to the members of the Care Education Forum and also to other stakeholders to help us to try the applications and let us know what's wrong, what they like, what they dislike, what is wrong. And we included all these findings into the final versions of the applications. Also, we tested our mobile VR laboratories, for which we set several technical parameters, and we tested if we are able to reach them. And also, as a part of the project activities, we tried testing of virtual reality meeting tools that would allow for people to virtually come in to a workshop, cooperate with others in VR space, and make the cooperation more efficient. So that were the main activities, main outputs of the project. And, but as I mentioned during my opening speech, it's not ending. It can be beginning of something else. So our future plans at the moment consist of ideas on how we could continue with the promotion of VR in education and practical use. Definitely, we will go through the deeper integration of education into the curricula of secondary schools or universities, make more intensive use of virtual or extended reality, for example, with digital twins models or other similar approaches. Simply, we will try to search for opportunities where VR could really bring benefits to the users. Thank you very much. That was a short overview of our activities, what will be achieved over past 3 years. And our colleagues, project members, project partners, will present to you more detailed insight into some of the activities I mentioned during my presentation. Thank you very much.
Overview of our project. You saw lots of output and lots of achievements of this project. I hope that this continuing evolving of VR in education, of course, will be still ongoing as we start in 2021 with networking project of VReduMED. We start this project with our friends from Linz, from BIZAP and Edu Group. And it's a wonderful team, perfect outputs, very precise outputs. And now, in my program, I see that I have to introduce you one of our Austrian partners from Business Upper Austria, alias BIZAP. It's Dominik Meyerhofer. Come to the stage. I will play your presentations, and Dominik will say us something about this roadmap. It's not about driving the car, you know, but it's about how to set up VR in your process. And this is your presentation. Stage is yours.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Very warm welcome from my side. As introduced, my name is Dominik Meyerhofer. I'm project manager from the MedTech cluster of Business Upper Austria. For those of you who don't know what cluster organization actually are, cluster organization try to connect branch in different areas. In this particular case, the MedTech branch in Upper Austria and Austria in general. And what was our participation in this project? Well, we tried to connect or to gather stakeholders to get insights to produce this document, I would say, together with our project partners, stakeholders, and I want to go in depth into this document, but not too deep. It's more an informative slot, I would say. The fun part starts later at the VR workshops. You can try out our pilot lines, which I highly recommend. And the VReduMED roadmap is one of our 2 strategic documents. The other one was already mentioned, the VReduMED handbook. And we will distinguish those 2 documents and try to explain to you what they actually are. So let's clarify or answer the question, what is the VReduMED roadmap? Who are the target groups? What was the methodology we used for it? And what's actually the purpose of this document, right? So the function or the purpose of this document, as I said, it should be a strategic guidance for integrating VR into nursing education, and it addresses underlying barriers which come with this technology and with implementation. The target groups are basically more on the, I would say technical side. It's more for medtech companies, for VR developers, for nursing educators, but also for the public institution. And the roadmap analyzes, on the one side, the status quo of the VR technology. So is it already used in the education? Is it not used? Are they experienced? Are they not experienced in this technology? Identifies barriers and highlights best practices and concrete steps. And on the other hand, it promotes or recommends, gives a framework, conditions for sustainable VR implementation in the care education sector. So let's jump to the creation process of this document. How did we come up with this document? How did we create it? Which steps were needed to create it, right? And the roadmap process was basically planned in the consortium in a multi-step way. So in the first step, we internally in the project declared some kind of steering committee, which gives some feedback in the direction and which formats we should create. Then we defined the stakeholders, and we very clarified who do we want to address with this. And this was the VR medtech branch, care education experts, and what's very important is we involve them in all our formats, so we gather internal insights from them and practical insights, so also our pilot lines can be user-centered designed. We conducted a baseline research where, as Matouš already mentioned, we made some competence mapping, we did some surveys, and which formed the basis for this document. And also policy highlights or policy insights were gathered, measured for future scenarios to ensure the sustainability of the project. Let's go one step deeper into the baseline research and the summary of findings. How did we gather those findings and how did we do this actually? So at first, as I mentioned, we did some kind of situation analysis, which was a lot of research, a lot of reading, a lot of research in internet. Then we did the competence mapping and the good practice collection. We sent out surveys to key actors, and we organized some roundtable events, open innovation sessions, which formed the basis also for the specifications for our VReduMED labs we established. So Matouš already mentioned it somehow, the competence mapping, which has a dedicated slot. I just want to briefly, again, present it to you. It assesses the current state of relevant competences of research institutions in each region, partner regions. You have an interactive map on the homepage where you can search around your area, which competences are there. And it is built on the previous project VReduMED. And all good practices were summarized in one big catalog, which you can scroll along on our VReduMED homepage. So, as I mentioned, we also created a survey for key actors, and what's this survey all about? The stakeholders in all project countries provided their experience by answering this survey. Topics included areas where VR could be beneficial, the main challenges in using it, and its perceived added value in learning scenarios. What's to mention is that the questionnaire actually had two paths, for the ones who already had VR experience and for the ones who are unexperienced. And this gave us also some very interesting insights, also how to plan our formats or how to address our pilot lines which we developed. Again, the target groups were care education institutions, medtech companies and SMEs, so small and medium enterprises, but also startups with VR competences and basically VR developers. And this one is one very interesting result, I would say, we gathered from this survey. We asked around 112 institutions or participants on the survey. And as you can clearly see, like 69% rated that VR improves teaching. VR technology can improve teaching. So that's their opinion. And also, it has safety benefits, it's an innovative technology, and it's for immersion. And on the right side, you also can see, like more than the half can or think that they can improve, or this technology can improve, this technology can improve teaching. And this was the basis where we said, okay, we should go on. And then we organized the roundtable events. In each partner region, we organized roundtable events where we invited stakeholders to discuss our project approach, where we discuss what's the current state of care education, and also to gather some inputs and ideas how we should go on with our project. And after these roundtables of each partner region, we took a step further and made with the stakeholders open innovation sessions or design thinking sessions. And what are these? The goal of this open innovation or design thinking workshops were to gather innovative VR ideas, which also formed our pilot lines, for example, the Room of Horror or our CPR pilot line. And to gather as many innovative ideas as possible with different workshop methods. And we can tell that in 1 year of doing these formats, we gathered around more than 30 ideas, which is quite impressive. And the hot topics, or some hot topics of these ideas were, for example, integration of AI-based communication in care, where stakeholders told us basically it would be good or it would be cool to have like human conversations in VR with avatars, but it should be AI-based because communication in VR is for now a bit tricky to make it human-like, and that's where AI-based approach come in. VR for dealing with stress for nurses. We all know nurses are under constant pressure and stress. So VR can also be used to relieve the stress by, I don't know, give some break and let's go to another place in VR just to relax, you know. And also use VR to support physical therapy at home, so to give some instructions, and also education VR game for children in health educations. And I already told a bit what is design thinking actually. Design thinking is a structured approach to solving problems by understanding user needs and iteratively testing solutions. Sorry for the wording. And basically, you take an idea and you refine it and refine it and refine it until you have a clear idea what it should be. And this, as I said, shaped our pilot lines. We used different approaches. We came up with some concepts which each partner region could adapt to their needs because not every region is the same. So we provided some methods, workshop methods. For example, we even played Lego with Lego Serious Play, where we try to visualize ideas, VR ideas on Lego basis, which we then could redefine the idea and stuff like this, and gather the insights from each stakeholder group. We also did design thinking workshops on consortium level. That's very important because we want to ensure the sustainability of the project, and that's where we tried as a consortium to come up with innovative new ideas followed up by this project or project concepts. And in this document, the roadmap document, you find also some kind of cluster recommendations. And one of these is the S3 strategy. I just want to briefly mention it. The S3 strategy is the European Smart Specialization Strategy. And it's built on 3 pillars, basically the localization, the prioritization, and the participation, where, well, the strategy on the localization is to gather regional resources and look for the region, okay, which competences are in this region and which one can we use. The prioritization is basically prioritize these resources, and participation is also to gather other people or gather stakeholders along the quadruple helix, which is the public sector, research, private sector, and civil society, to participate in this strategy. And for this, in the VReduMED project, we defined a so-called diamond of transformative activities, where we said, okay, we have on the one side, on the top, we have the medtech solutions. On the bottom, we have virtual reality. On the left side, the clinical environment. On the right side, we have the education and training side. And just to introduce how this diamond works, for example, you have a medtech solution which is good for the clinical environment, but not for education and training. You would be on the left upper side of this diamond. But on the other hand, if you have, for example, a VR application, which is good for education and training, you will be on the right lower corner of this diamond. And this is how we used in our design thinking workshops to try to gather some new project concepts for sustainability. And what is also important, a cluster recommendation, is transnational collaboration. Alone, we can't do this project, so we have individual competences in each project regions. And this is also, we gathered like the information that, VR is great, but we can't fund this, and we don't know how to fund this and implement this in our institution. There are several ways you can like fund VR technology or a project, for example, with national or regional funding schemes. And one of these could be, for example, the Eureka initiative. And what's to come, Matouš also mentioned it, for the sustainability of the VReduMED project. What is our plan for the future? So the partners are committed until 2028 to further promote the project, for example, on EN networking events, but also try to come up with new project concepts, to initiate new project concepts, and also to do follow-up activities concerning this project. And for this, each region, each partner region, came up with regional action plans, we call it, which is basically a strategy, what we try to do in the future. And as a conclusion for the VReduMED roadmap, the roadmap serves as a strategic guide that helps educators, developers, companies, and public authorities to move from experimentation with VR to implementation or to adoption. This document combines all findings we did in our formats of the VReduMED project. And by combining the baseline research, stakeholder insights, technical analysis, and policy perspectives, the document provides a framework for implementing VR meaningfully, but also sustainably. And the roadmap is also outlined for opportunities for VR innovations, transnational cooperation, and regional cluster development. But what is really important is, and we saw it in our formats, is the involvement of stakeholders. They provided so much value for our pilot lines, for the project in general. So if you plan any project, talk to the stakeholders. They give you real valuable feedback and insights. And if you're interested on the document, it's already online on the VReduMED homepage. The VReduMED handbook is currently in development and polished, and will be published later. So go on our homepage, read through the document, and if you have any question, feel free to contact me or us, the project consortium, and we are happy to discuss with you or talk about this document. Thank you.
Thank you, Dominic, for your excellent presentation. Lots of work been done. Again, many thanks for this, our guide, let's say, for our project, for follow-up project, for implementing. We are in education and in everything. Now we are getting closer to our workshop season, which start, let's say, in next 40 minutes. Before this workshops, it's good to know what you will try and, let's say, taste. So now we will show you, or not we, not I, but Leoš Kubíček from JVTP, and Leoš is also CEO of Virtual Lab, one of, you saw the stakeholders, let's say. We can call it stakeholders? Yes, definitely. Because his team prepared a very wonderful application for virtual reality, which is testing or training cardiopulmonary resuscitation. We call it CPR, and you will have the opportunity to train this resuscitation on, I think, person, adult, let's say little bigger children, junior, and of course the baby. It's very important. It's not nice, but it's nice. Good to be, yeah, it's nice, but the situations are not nice, but I think it's very important to train this situation, to handle this situation. And Leo show us everything about this application, which you can try at our workshops. Yeah. So, presentation, everything is yours.
Thank you very much, Vojta. I'm very happy to be here because I have an opportunity to show you how we prepared a very interesting application, why we go or went through this roadmap, why we choose this topic, and what will be future of those applications. So my name is Leoš Kubíček. In the project, I'm responsible for developing the part of the application VR CPR. We extended for new training sessions, junior and toddler. And why? These figures are very wrong. Those figures are from Czech Republic and shows us that many of publics worried to rescue some people if they have a problem with cardio. What is the maybe worse that 96% of people worried to use AAD. Many organizations have a AAD in the companies or shopping centers, but nobody wants to use it because they worried. And it was the one of the topic why we moved to bring the new trainings in this platform. And if during the project we asked the people from professionals, from public, from companies, from educators, what is the potential problem to train the pulmonary resuscitation? And most of them told us, okay, the typical CPR is a little bit problem, but what is the bigger problem to train the CPR with children? Because everyone worried to train it. Because like Vojta, so it's not funny to train with children and rescue them. And it was the strong input for us to prepare the environments where you rescue the junior in the classroom and toddlers by the pool, and of course to use the AED too. So I show you some short video where you can see how we incorporated the different environments, trainings, etc. I hope so that it will be work. So I could see that it's not only the procedure of the CPR. It's about situation. It is the big additional value. Why use the virtual reality for this type of the training? Because if you have a mannequin, you can perfectly train the typical procedure, the techniques. But if you ask the target groups, mostly they thought, okay, I know the techniques, but I worried the situation where I have to use the techniques. How to be one of the person who start to resuscitate. And this is the reason we prepared the strong structure of the application, that you can train the specific procedure for professionals, because maybe you know, if you are the educators, that CPR has two ways for professionals and for public. Each version is prepared in different levels. The first level is training, the step-by-step training how to proceed CPR in different situations. As you can see in the video, for example, if you are in the classroom, you have to organize the situation. It means you have to ask the teacher, call the ambulance, and use this specific gesture which is recommended to use it. By the pool, you have there the mother. She's annoying, crying, etc. You have to be prepared to communicate with her. And the road, it's not definitely for junior or baby, but if you are on the road, you have to firstly organize your safety, because this is very important. Of course, include the trainings. There are the trainings with AED. We cooperated very closely with the distributor of AED, that we use the concrete step-by-step procedure and original audio from AED that the trainee has experience, that they use it, that the system guides you the step-by-step what you have to do, and the situation where the system automatically tells you, now it's not possible to use the AED, you have to continue only CPR. Because this experience is very important. Test, this is a key part of the application, because mostly people thought, okay, I know how to provide the CPR. Okay, go inside and go to the test, and the test automatically recognizes that you know or not. And what is very funny to see the professionals that, okay, I know the typical in hospitals, and during the tests, suddenly they don't, they are not fit with what is the next steps. They don't know it perfectly. Yeah. Real-time images streaming from VR goggles. Yeah, it's very good for schools or for trainers that they see in a real time what happened inside and, for example, support or recommend the trainee how to make the next steps. And what was very important for us, because we are cooperating with Czech Resuscitation Council, that this application is completely prepared regarding the new standards 2025. What is very important for users, that you can use any mannequins which are on the market. You can use, for example, 30 years old mannequins. If they work, it's no problem. During the project, we had many opportunities for feedbacks. Of course, during the standard project meetings, but we use it in different situations. For example, we communicated with the Czech police. They use this application now for training in their training center. Maybe you know this guy. This is our national president. We trained him and his bodyguards for CPR in December. And what was very interesting information or feedback for us, we took this application for SESAM conference, who are from educator sector or simulation center. You know, this is the biggest conference in Europe for this branch, and we used the baby training. And understand, we had maybe 200 people who visited us and tried to use the VR CPR, but only one wanted to use the procedure with baby. Every other one told us, okay, maybe junior, maybe adult, but children not. I asked, okay, and how you can have an experience with this? Because me, like father, I don't want to have experience with this, that I have to rescue my children, but I have to be prepared for this, I think. And this is the reason why that I see the big opportunity how to prepare the big amount of the people to be prepared to rescue children, small babies, etc. So, what about the future? For me, it's very important that outputs from a project will be used long time. And you can see the next steps which we are preparing in this or with this application. We will add the new environments. During the 1 month will be the cafe, where you have to rescue the old man, junior, or standard adults, but you have there many disruptors. Young guy who starts to record the situation and streaming online and comment what happened. Old man who's try to interrupt him or tells you like the rescuer, you are wrong, etc., etc. What is very important for the future female avatar, because the information from ERC standards, they recognize that it's potential problem with rescuing the women. And of course, for professionals, first ALS scenarios, where you trained how to proceed this complication scenario together with your partner, etc. So this is short overview about what you can experience inside our application. And what is the best about virtual reality? Not speaking, not showing the videos, but try it. And this is time for inviting you for the rooms where we have prepared adults, junior, and toddler for testing for you. Thank you for your attention, and yeah, I hope so. We meet there.
Thank you, Lars. Thank you, Lars, for excellent presentation. Mostly all of us are parents, and we want to be prepared. And that's why you have to try also the baby. I know it's not a good feeling, but trust me, it's very good, and it's very important to know how to handle this situation. This is the first, or not first. This is one of our applications for training in, let's say, healthcare sector. The second one is made and prepared by our wonderful team from Széchenyi István University of Győr. I hope that my pronunciation is not so bad, sorry. And the presentation will be held by Tamás Budai. Come on, Tamás, stage is yours. And Tamás, show us the creepy name, the Room of Horror. When I first hear Room of Horror, I say, come on, what is this? How is connection with the healthcare sector? But you will see it's another amazing application. Here is presenter, stage is yours.
Thank you, Vojta. Dobry den, guten morgen, good morning, jó reggelt. My name is Tamás Budai, as it was in the introduction. I'm an associate professor at the Department of Artificial Intelligence and HPC, the Széchenyi István University of Győr in Hungary. And our main role, one of our main roles in the project was to develop the application called Room of Horror. I'm in a really fortunate and unfortunate situation in the same time, because you've seen and heard everything that I think led up to the point where we defined the applications and actually developed them. So maybe I don't have much new information to say on that side. I would like to show you the application itself, how we describe the idea, how we specified the application requirements, a little bit about the technological background, and I would like to have a little showcase with some screenshots and videos for those who may have no opportunity to actually try the application in the room we also prepared. So as the others, I also encourage everyone to try out the application if you have the opportunity and the time to do so. Okay, so the description of the idea is really simple, but it could get really complex. It was to create an environment where you can jump in using a VReduMED, and your job or your goal is to identify all the errors or mistakes in the care protocol that are hidden in this room. That's why it's called the Room of Horror. It's not horrific, it's not that bad, so I encourage everyone to don't have fear about it, just by the name, just try it out. but it's called a room of horror because it could get horrific for students when they have to identify several errors in procedure within a time limit. So there is pressure on them when they are exploring the room and are trying to finding mistakes. And as you will see, some mistakes are really obvious, even for me, for a person with no medical background, that I can identify them. But some are so subtle that even, I think, caregiver professionals have a hard time to actually find them. So the concept or the idea came up during a specific and formal process we talked about before, these open innovation sessions and the ideation. And also, it was very important that it was based on input from those sessions by the care education and education experts in the partnership. And I believe I wanted to talk about it not just on to show how we specify the application itself, but to show you or encourage you to evaluate this kind of partnership or this kind of cooperation, because I think that this application could not be what it is if we didn't do it the way we did it, with the strong cooperation of care education experts and technology experts, and with multiple rounds of very valuable feedback from the internal partnership members and from external stakeholders during the stakeholder involvement events and the pilot actions. So what we specified is the application itself. How should it work? How should it look like? What should it do? But also we set out two goals that were induced by being a multilingual and the project with multiple countries and multiple languages involved, that we should provide the application with all the languages in the partnership, so everyone can try out and use the application in their native language. And also, we wanted to build in a tutorial. If you want to explore and start using the application on your own without any kind of help, then you will be able, by using the tutorial, getting to know how to get around in the application and what you should do. So a little bit about the technological background. The application was implemented using Unreal Engine. You will see on the screenshots and the videos that it's not lifelike. It still has a kind of let's say, not so immersive graphics, but I believe it is perfectly fine for the purpose, because to identify errors in the care protocol, you don't need a very lifelike dummy, you don't need a very lifelike equipment. It should be modeled and it should be done enough for you to be able to recognize the errors. And we wanted to go with as generic environment and as generic medical equipment as possible, because we didn't want to get into some trouble about copyright. You may already know that some kind of these medical equipment should not be shown in a virtual environment without previous acknowledgement by the manufacturer. So we wanted to do it in a generic way, but in a way that you will still be able to recognize all the errors and mistakes. As I mentioned, we implemented the interface in a multilingual way, and we also implemented two very important accessibility features that came up during our feedback sessions and during our demonstrations of the pilot. One is the colorblind mode, because as you will see in the application, we indicate several things with colors, but people who has a hard time differentiating different colors, we still wanted to make the application available for them. So we implemented the colorblind mode. And also we implemented a little pop-up window for small, hard-to-read text. For example, you have to read the bottle of the medicine, you have to read a box of pills, or you have to read the bag of the plastic bag of the IV, what's on there, because there may be some errors hidden in there. But in the VR environment, with the current technology, for some people, it's really hard to distinguish and see small text and read it in VR. It could get very uncomfortable. That's why we implemented a pop-up window, which comes up and displays the same text in a bigger way, in a bigger screen. So you have an easier time to actually read it. So I believe that one picture is better than 1,000 words, so I would like to show some screenshots so you can imagine what I talked about in the last few minutes. This is how the application looks like. The environment is a hospital room. There is a bed with a patient, And there is several things around the patient. Some of our medical equipment or used for caregiving. Some of our really everyday objects like this little trolley and the trash bin, for example, which is not on this picture. And as you can see, we indicate things, as I mentioned, with colors. We use colors to help you aim at things and select the things that you think contains an error or a mistake in the procedure, or is it in the wrong place, for example. And when you finished with the session, when the time is up, you get a result, and you can evaluate how well you did, how many errors did you find, and we also indicate the errors that you found correctly with green and the errors that you missed with red. And this is the little pop-up I told about. This is if when you hover over the plastic bottle of the IV, you can read which kind of medicine is administered to the patient. And if you check your tablet, which is on the side of you every time, and you can just pull it up to check the patient data, it's important to have the patient data with you for both reasons. One, to create better immersion, because in a real life caretaking environment or caregiving environment, the professional will have access to the patient data. Maybe not on a tablet, but on a paper or something, but the idea is similar. And the second reason is there are errors hidden which you can only find and identify if you look at the patient data. Because, for example, allergies and other stuff that which medicine should be administered and should be not to this patient are on the patient file, and you have to correlate this information with the things that you see around you on the table and in the IV, and etc. And also, I would like to show you a short video on how the application looks in motion. There we have sound cues and we have background sound in the application, but I think I muted it on purpose because I wanted to talk a little bit about the application. The sound cues are not that important. They are just there to create better immersion. Most of the things that you have to look forward is is the visual information, the text and the things around you. But we have some sounds to help immersion. And as you can see in this video, this shows the tutorial part of the application, which guides you through the initial steps on how you should control the application, how you can get around, how you can select the things that you think are errors or mistakes, and how to use the tablet and etc. So it goes through all the features of the application, and if you want to, you can explore it on your own. Okay. I think we can move forward. And the other one is it the correct one? Nope. It's the other one. Sorry. Okay, and in the other video, this is actually shows a session. I'm playing with the environment, and I just wanted to just record a quick session to give you an idea of how the application looks like and how does it work. And it's also important to mention that it was mentioned before that these errors and mistakes are not static. They could be randomized. So every time when you enter the environment, the different errors and different mistakes will be hidden in the room. And of course, if you want to give an extra challenge for your students, there is an inbuilt editor where you can also select the different errors that you want to include in this session and the ones that you don't want to include. So you can set up your own room of horror scenario with the editor. So that's, I think, all about I wanted to say about the application. I strongly encourage you to try it out if you have the opportunity, and I thank you for your attention.
It's a very nice application. I tried it, and I think it's very good for training for medical schools because you know the space in hospitals to try to learn where is something, how to put something somewhere. There is no space, too much space for all students from our medical schools. Now we are tired. The air here is not quite good. So I suppose we can make and take a coffee break with discussion with our partners, with our developers, with stakeholders. And these coffee breaks with discussion will continue into our workshop, where you can try CPR, room of horror, and another kind of application and outputs, virtual labs, learning anatomy in VR, and quite a lot of things. All of you look at your hand, and I think you have a bracelet or something like this. And this has some color. Each room, because we need to be separate with special router, because the traffic of internet and data is quite heavy in these applications, so we have to be in separate rooms. So each room is marked with the color of your bracelet. So your workshop after, when you enjoy your coffee, please go to the room with your color. And at each room there is and then we have about 15, maybe 20 minutes to be in this room to try to see our colleagues how they're trying this application. And then you will switch to another room. This is a roadmap of circulating in rooms. So who, for example, will start with teenager CPR, this is a yellow bracelet, will move into the blue room with baby CPR, then to the red, purple, and green, etc., etc. Yes? So please enjoy the coffee. Let's start discussion, and then hands-on and try our application. And thank you again for your attention, and many thanks for our speakers for excellent presentation, and I hope that everybody enjoyed this presentation. Thank you very much, and go for a coffee.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are so back. I hope you refreshed yourself, that you had some delicious lunch, something to drink, and I mostly hope that you experienced one of or all of the 5 rooms in which you had the chance before the noon to attend workshops to try the VR solutions we have developed in the project and some new innovative approaches in development of the VR. We're back with the VReduMED conference, the final conference from vision to reality, and I would pass the word to my colleague Anya. Also, my name is Martin. We will lead you throughout the afternoon part. So Anya, please tell us what's next.
Yeah, thank you very much, Martin. My name is Anya. I'm from Strategic Partnership for Sensor Technology from Germany. And well, in our project, we had about 5 main outcomes. The first one was the roadmap. Dominic already presented it to you during the morning session. The second outcome have been the VR applications, and you were able to test them during the workshops. And outcome number 3 is the so-called Care Education Forum. And number 4 is the VReduMED handbook. And for both, our colleague Astrid is responsible. So we would like to welcome her on stage, and she will present both of them to us now.
Thank you. Yeah, hello and good afternoon also from my side. My name is Astrid Leb. I'm coming from education group from Upper Austria, from Linz, just some kilometers away to south of South Bohemia and of České Budějovice. Yeah? And as we are already here some days, we will learn that we were connected one long time ago by this railway traveling from Linz up to České Budějovice, bringing salt up here. Yeah? And in these times, salt was very, very important for the people in the medieval times. Nowadays, we are having other important things. It's about technology, it's about knowledge, it's about use of new media, and this is what Education Group is dealing with. We are trying to support educational institutions in Upper Austria with our knowledge about educational technology. We are doing this for a long, long time, yeah? And we are proud to be one of the partners of VReduMED, but we also were one of the partners already in VReduNet. So we are meeting here in Budweis for many times by now. So as already described, I'm bringing to you some information about the Care Education Forum, which is very important for our project. And I'm talking to you about the VReduMED handbook, which will be also very important for you, as you are care educators and you want to have all the stuff we have developed within this project within one practical handbook. And this is what will be produced in these days. So let's take a look at the Care Education Forum. What is it about and what are we doing in this forum? For us, as a project, the Care Education Forum was very important because this was the place where care educators are put into the project as the experts for bringing in the practical demands, for bringing in their ideas and all their experiences to shape our applications, to shape our activities within the project. So this is the Care Education Forum was set up as regional forums, also with one regional representative to have one person as a contact person, so you can speak in your mother tongue to this person and not to stick to English, because sometimes this is somehow a little bit tricky for some people. And all these Care Education Forum people have brought in their input through roundtables, through workshops, tested prototypes, gave feedback on those applications, and so on. You see here some pictures out of the workshops about some tryout sessions we had within our project. In the Care Education Forum, now there are 116 registrations out of 74 institutions. You also see that we have 3 countries, 3 regions with some tiny star, because these countries have within the project the mobile labs. Matouš already said in the beginning of our conference that we have this mobile lab infrastructure piloted within our project, but not all the 5 regions have these mobile labs. Just 3 of them have these mobile labs, and this is why these numbers of registrations are a little bit higher. Of course, the people could work in the lab, and this was more attractive to them. So this is how the registrations of the Care Education Forums are shaped in the different regions. And from this Care Education Forum, we learned about the care education system in the different regions, of course. And we have collected information about the challenges for care and, of course, for care education nowadays. Because this is very important also to have these pains and also to have these struggles that care education and care in general is facing. And so that we can somehow also react on these things with our project. And of course, we discussed with them in our innovative workshops, in our different tryout sessions about these requirements. What would they need for care education to make it better, or to help them with some education, with some helpful things in VR. And of course, we from that on with these experts, we also discussed with them our pilots, we have then their feedbacks, and maybe we have some ideas for you within our handbook, then finally for a successful didactic implementation. About how did we do that? On about the care education system, of course, we did this with desk research to bring this information together. The information on care and on the current challenges. There we had expert interviews. I'm very happy to see some faces from these expert interviews, which were done in all the regions. And this discussed requirements were also found out in the roundtables, in the workshops, and all these activities throughout the project. And of course, about the didactic concepts, we found out in the trainer-trainer sessions, in the VR lab, and in the pilot testing phases. And now, of course, we come to this pilot testing. You were also now testing the pilots and also testing VR applications. And if you want to give us feedback on this testing that you did and on the testings that you experienced, so here is the QR code to our online form in English. And please feel free to fill in your feedback you want to give to us. Yeah? It is important for us. This is a form where you have also text boxes that you can fill in the feedback you want to give. For example, Tamás said in his session about the Room of Horror that he had very fruitful feedbacks. And of course, it is for us and for our developers, for Tamás, for Room of Horror, for Leos with VR CPR, it is important that they get their feedback. So please do so. Here is the QR code to this online form in English, in the English language. And you have some general questions, and then afterwards you have some free text fields to fill in and to put in your feedback on that. So far for the Care Education Forum, and then we step to the outcome, one of the major strategic outcomes from our project. This is the handbook. The handbook is summarizing all the things up for the care educators. These are the main persons that we are writing this handbook for. We are summarizing the conclusions of the forum. We are also bringing in the aggregated assessments from the pilot actions. Of course, within this program, there are the educational tips and tricks for you as educators, how to deal with virtual reality and how to make an optimized use within your teaching and learning. And of course, we also gather good and best practice examples, because in this world of VR, you know, the one thing is about the hardware, which glasses to buy, because there is a big market of different glasses, different technology. This is the one thing. Maybe this is somehow an easier part. But on the other hand, when you step into this store with so many apps, it's very, very difficult for you to find the right ones, and also to get some tips for the practice, or what is for the beginning good for you, what should you install, what we can recommend from our experiences that you should take as a starting point for you and for your students. So this is also a very important input for you in this care education outcome, the VReduMED handbook. It's not ready by now because we are now finalizing all the contents. It's already very, very rich from the first drafts we already found, and it will be available by the end of March. But of course, I have some sneak preview for you to just show you what will be inside. We will have, of course, some background information about what is VR. We will deal with some background information also on the health issues about the motion sickness, how to deal with it. We then look a little bit into the techniques, how are the VR glasses working, and give you some tips for the practical use for installation. Then we, of course, look at content for VR in care education. So we have the outcomes from the mapping. We have the good practice examples in the next speech. You will have a closer look at the mapping and how it was performed. Then, of course, we will look at care, at the care education system, and we will have some excerpts of the interviews we were running in our regions. And afterwards, then we have also a sum up from the inputs from the nursing experts, from the workshops, from the evaluation of pilot actions, from the lab programs. So you have different activities and all these feedbacks brought together in one handbook. And as you will see, some things are always coming up within these feedbacks from these experts. This is a very, very good learning also for us, that some things we have also always to take into account to have a successful implementation. And then, of course, at the chapter 8, there will be the educational concept. And at the chapter 9, we also give recommendations for the countries. So we have these recommendations for the different partner countries that have been within our VReduMED project. So this is the content that you can expect in our handbook, in our big one. And just for you to see, we have here sample content. We are picking out some part of the a short part of the handbook, just for you to see how it will look like. This is just a brief insight of the history of VR. The history of VR is a little bit longer than somebody would expect. It didn't start with MetaQuest. There was something already before. Good, so far to the handbook. To keep you informed and to register for some more information, so we send out the mail to you when the handbook is already online. I want to invite you to join us on VReduMED.eu, and you have here the Join Us sections where you can register, and we will be happy to welcome you on board. Thank you.
And next point on the program of the conference from Vision to Reality of the VReduMED project is inspiration from mapping. So something about existing VR apps and good practice examples that we had in the project collected. Our speaker is being set up right now, so let's give him a few more seconds. The speaker is Dr. Wojciech Blažek from the Department of Geography of the University of South Bohemia here in České Budějovice. And it's nice to see him in person. Also, he is your previous moderator. So how did the turntable, wait, how was it? Tables turned? How did the turntables go around?
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, stage is yours.
Okay. Thank you. Hello again, me again. Our team first task of this project was mapping, because at the beginning of this project we had to search our regions for best practices for companies who creating something with virtual reality in combination of healthcare and education. So we prepared, of course, because I'm from the Department of Geography, so I took the mapping part, because I love making maps and this kind of things. So everything, I don't have presentation because I hate presentation a little bit, but it's my problem. I prefer to show the live example. If you visit our website, wonderful website, thank you very much to Inushkart for creating these wonderful websites and social media of our project and everything for dissemination. You find project activities, and in this section, it's on the first place because it was at the beginning of the project. We, as Astrid said, we made, let's say, desk research, searching newspapers, all social media channels to find something which is combination of virtual reality and, again, healthcare system, education and healthcare system. So, as output of this first activity was mapping. We collect quite a lot examples. You can open it if you will visit in future to, let's say, make some inspiration about virtual reality. You can open this interactive dashboard where are all examples from all partners, countries, so from Germany, Austria, Slovakia, Hungary, and of course Czech Republic. You can filter here, you can see, I'm not sure how many organizations we collected. I'm not good at math, so I will not counting it. But you can see, you can filter this dashboard, these examples for each country. So, for example, I can switch to Austria, and you can see what kind of type of organizations are incorporated in this, let's say, sample of good practices and the focus of the target group of our project. So, if we are talking about higher education and research, we can find that there in Austria are seven examples from Austria. And you can click on it, of course, because it's interactive, and see that this city of Hardenberg, it's a college faculty, and they have some hive lab and trying to do some application, applied science, unit research, human interface, and so on, so on. So in the future, I hope this dashboard and this website will be available a few years more. So in the future, remember this website, and you can go back and try to, if you need to, some inspiration about virtual reality. From the second task was to find the best good practice. We collected few of them. You can switch in this dashboard to 0 to 1. It means it's a good practice. It's like a top of the top from each country. And how this work, again, you can click on them. Oh, it's virtual lab. I tried a different thing. It's a center of social service facility, and there is of course a website for this facility. It's center of social about this company, and of course what is more important, sometimes, not in this case, but I think here is time to time VR article, which means there is some, it's from the desk research, and you can read, oh, sorry for this advertisement, oh my God. You can see Leo here, of course, and you can read, if you use Google Translate, you can read how, in which way they are using these VR applications for their practice. We have these good best practices also in PDF format. We prepare this nice presentation, or it's a PDF, and you can scroll down to your country and look what is story behind this VR solution and how the company is using it. So it's really, it was really important because we learned from this what kind of application we should prepare. So from this arises that idea of the room of horror, I think, and of course because one of the best practices was virtual lab and Leo's virtual lab, so we starting to work on the CPR application. This was two main outputs from our first or beginning of our project. And I hope that if you need in the future some inspiration, or look how is VR used in healthcare sector, please visit our website. You can, as Astrid said, register for newsletters and find the best practices solution in VR and healthcare sector. I think I was quite quick, right? But I think it's so easy and obvious. Map, PDF, and you can use it. Thank you very much again for your attention, and yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Yeah. So, are there any questions to the previous presentations until now? Not yet, maybe later. But now you know all the 5 main outcomes from our project. So the roadmap, the VR applications, the care education forum, the handbook, and also the mapping. But of course, we had a lot of other tasks to work on. And one was that we tested and tested and tested, and we collected as much feedback as possible from all the students, the teachers, and all the stakeholders. And now I would like to welcome Astrid again on stage, because she will just present some voices from the field. So yeah, she will present the feedback we received, and I think it will be very interesting. So the stage is yours again.
Thank you. Thank you. So, yeah, voices from the field. We have various activities where we gathered these voices from the field. Interviews, workshops, pilot actions, and all these together. I tried to bring all these put these all into one presentation to you. I will jump a little bit between all these things, because my idea about this presentation is to give you some insights, but on the other hand, it doesn't matter if it was a workshop, if it was evaluation of pilot action, if it was, for example, feedback from students, for you, it's just the feedback that counts. It's nevertheless what source it is. So we have all these different sources where we gathered feedback from. Of course, in the background, as you already know, we have this Care Education Forum and the members of the Care Education Forum, but we have all these different activities we were doing. A very important and interesting source was these expert interviews we did within the regions. And this was somehow a nice activity, as these expert interviews were being done in all the regions, and they all landed at Education Group, as we as work package leader were somehow putting all this information together and putting it into articles for the VReduMED online magazine. You will find it also on the website, so please go in there and go and read these articles of these feedbacks from the experts there. First of all, we developed an interview guideline, and along this interview guide, the interviews were taking place. And we started with some general questions for getting somehow in touch with the nursing experts, nursing training experts, and we asked them about the challenges in nursing and in care in general. And it was just one big thing that the people said, this is the staff shortage. That's the most challenging thing, named throughout all the regions. That is the most challenging thing for them. And also for caregivers, the problem that the remaining staff in these care institutions, they have the problem of overwork, they have lack of recognition, they have enormous moral strain, they have unbalanced teamwork, and they have also, when they want to raise their voice and get support, yeah, it's also not easy because there are fragmented structures and they have a lack of strong representation. Yeah? This is somehow not quite a healthy surrounding in a healthy sector. Yeah? On the other hand, all the educational trainers said that it is such a meaningful work, and they all say we need to have we need to inspire the young people, because this job is really challenging. It is different. It is difficult. It is demanding. But on the other hand, you get so much back for yourself. You get so much back from the patients you are helping. For care education, it's also a challenging time because the competition for trainees, yeah, the competition for students is also here on. Yeah? You have to fight for your students, because there are other institutions also trying to fetch out for the good students. Yeah? Some trainers also said, well, there is some lack of motivation, the problem of shorter attention at the students, also students demanding also already a better work-life balance while studying, because they say, well, I will not be the one with burnout within the first years. I want to have it also look on my health. Yeah? And also the problem that the training is very, very comprehensive. It is very, very also a very demanding training for them. And this transfer from theory to practice, it is somehow also a very, very strong thing, challenging thing. Yeah? So this is the big picture on nursing education. When asked about the experiences with VR, every institution we had in our interviews, they had some experiences with VR. But that was it was beginning from just some pilot things. We have one class and we have tried out one app. And it varied up to, we have already a completely installed app, and we are doing this and this and this within our curriculum. It was a very wide range how VR was already in the training implemented. Yeah. The challenges in the introducing VR on top is always the financial things. Yeah? It's not often not the financial things of buying the glasses, but it's the financial things of staying also in online, staying also on top of the technology. Because when you buy the glasses, yeah, it is not done, because within 1 year you have to change the glasses. You have also the licenses to buy of the apps, and of course you have also the one thing is the implementation, integration in the existing infrastructure, which is also can be a tricky one to when you bring in these VR glasses and integrate it into the IT infrastructure already existing in the schools. Well, challenging for some institutions. And of course, limited time and personal resources of the trainers, and also of other staff, technical staff, that they are not quite happy when they have another technical thing that they should care about. And we also had these pilot actions done, and we offered anonymous feedback on the pilot actions, and we have nearly 240 feedbacks done by these pilot actions, by people participating in pilot actions. And we have also this question within, when you think about implementing VR in institutions, what are the biggest challenges? And you see here also the lack of budget resources at high numbers, or you see also the lack of internal human resources also at high numbers. So it's also the same picture we have drawn from the interviews, then also drawn from the feedback from the pilot actions. In the roadmap, Dominic presented it at the beginning of this conference. In the roadmap, we also have the experts' feedbacks within, also from stakeholders. And there also we have the costs, the trainings, and what is then popping up is also the didactic added value. Didactic added value is something that is very central, also in the here for the teachers, for the trainers, because they say if this technology does not have added value, it is not worth implementing it. Yeah? And what they also brought into this field is that it has to have clear actions and clear objectives what the VR application should be used for. It has to have also the problem of usability was also touched, but also the variation of scenarios. Yeah? They said if a VR scenario is always the same, then it's not a training, that is not worth training, because it has to have this variation. Otherwise, it does not have this didactic added value, and it is not worth it. We focus on this technology. Then, of course, we ask in our interviews the educational experts about VR apps. And they say, okay, there are tons of apps available, but it is very variable how they appear. There are many from quality, from very low quality, very bad quality, and you don't see that in the beginning because they all have nice pictures and nice descriptions, what they all do, and then when you try it out, yeah, you're somehow disappointed, yeah, what you see, because what you see is often not what you get out of an app. Yeah. And what is also a critical point was that there are many contents is coming from the Anglo-American countries, as their VR is already long in the field, and this often does not fit to the regulations we have. Yeah? So this is also a bad thing for an educational trainer when he's installing an app, and this app is saying something different than he is trying to teach his students about how it should be, how he or she should behave in this and that things. And also what is a pity is that many apps are not available in the languages. So we have many apps available in English and lesser apps available in other languages, and multilingualism is not supported by many apps. A positive example was mentioned, the apps for anatomy, because there people said, really, this is added value. This is also something I cannot show so easily to my students, because this is really worth it, because you have just 2D to present anatomy in a book, 2D on a video. Yeah, you have 2D. You have maybe 3D if you have a model. Yeah, if you have some models. Yeah, but it's not the same when you have this in virtual reality, where you have this 3D visualization, where you really can pick out this muscle, yeah, turn it around, then see from where to where it is from where to where it is aligned, and how all these things work together. And here we have real added value, and this is also what the experts also say. Also, when we come back to the evaluation of the pilot actions, where we also had anatomy as a testing, as a pilot tested, you see here the numbers from the students of the pilot testing. Yeah? And when you take a look, anatomy is this green bar in very good. The students are very, very fond of the anatomic apps. Yeah? They are more fond of these apps than their teachers are, yeah? Because the teachers' numbers are lower. Yeah? But they are really happy about VR applications on anatomy. And one short remark, a personal story. We were presenting, Dominique knows, we were presenting VR at a booth for care educators and care students. Yeah? And there was one student just very shy. He didn't want to try out VR. But then, of course, after some minutes, he said, okay, I will try. Yeah? And then we just gave him a little instruction. Yeah? And then we said, okay, now we start the anatomic app we have installed. And he then was completely forgetting that he was standing in the middle of a booth. Yeah? And he was really going down, going up, going around the body, completely fascinating, looking at him. Yeah? And after some time, we had to step to him and say, sorry, but there are other people waiting for trying out the classes. Yeah? And he then said this was really mind-changing, because he had just an exam. Yeah? I think it was muscles or something like that, and he did so hard. He had so much problem to learn this, yeah? And then it was somehow he understood now how these muscles were lying in these different layers and from where to where they were. Yeah? And this was something where we really said this is really added value from VR. And I think this is also why the students like it so much. Yeah. So we also have asked within the evaluation of pilot actions, which content do you think would be good content for implementing in apps in VR? As you see, anatomy is on top from all the feedbacks we got. But at the second place, you have also this process training, this method training, also the demand or the wish that there is for processes, for all the different methods. There would be some training, because this would be really fruitful for care education, that there would be some some of these trainings. Even if they are not satisfying by now how they look like, this would be the field for it. Yeah? You see process training, you see product training. Of course, there is some fields that the people say, this is not so a good thing. We think that VR is working good. For example, soft skills training is one of the things, or communication training is one of those things that is more negatively feedbacked by the evaluation. And then we're coming back to the feedbacks from the expert interviews. They see also this process training, these simulations, that this is a field of very big potential for VR apps in these fields. They wish to have different scenarios to demonstrate teaching and learning of situations that are very difficult to visualize or to demonstrate in the teaching, and also to have some risky situation. And of course, it is important, this training is important because you are doing this training in virtual reality and you are not endangering patients, because the patient is virtual, but this is also always, although it's an immersive experience, you are in the virtual room with this patient, you have to have interaction, and you have these simulations and trainings, and this is something very helpful for the people. Of course, nowadays we still have also some weaknesses. It's faces and mimics and gestics are not so good by now visualized in VR. But when I remember when we started with VReduMED and had the virtualization here, and now some years later, the virtual things now in VReduMED, it is really a big challenge, a big change with this technology has already been done, and I think this will move up very, very quickly. On the other thing, of course, you have this limitation of haptics and some things you cannot do with VR. But it is not said that VR is some solution that should be implemented in everything. It should be implemented where it makes sense. And of course, our trainers also said there are big challenges in the combination VR and AI. So virtual patients prompted with information. This is a big challenge for the future, and also a big opportunity. But on the other hand, we have to be very, very critical about the sources that feed this AI. Where is the source coming from? Where is the information coming from? Is it also Anglo-American big companies that dominate the market and dominate also this information? This has to be very critically been also taken into advice when we are talking about this. Some further statements. Combination with AI, great potential. One wish from this expert was also to have some very special situations to work with polytrauma patients, to have patients with dementia, and also have these interactions with dementia patients. Another thing is that VR can also simulate, for example, illnesses. So a student could step into a patient's shoes and being simulated having some special illness. So that somehow you know more about a patient, how a patient's feeling, how a patient is seeing or getting his or her feelings about the situation if you have the possibility to step in the patient's shoes. And what is also one aspect that was coming from Hungary, the professor there had also already an VR lab, and they are also already connecting it into the curriculum. And there they also have the aspect of VR applications for patients, so that the care is somehow supported by VR in the patients, for the patients. For example, they use it for activating patients for rehabilitation exercises, and they use it for young patients for some examinations, so that the young patients are somehow, they are out in the virtual world, and they are not caring so much about the examination they has to be done. This can be also in Upper Austria. We have this also done before operations, so that the children don't have these surroundings from the operation preparation. They are up in a virtual world, and they are, of course, then more calm than normally. And the final and very important sentence that we heard within all these interviews was the demand for didactic has to be prioritized before technology. It has to be the added value. It has to have the implementation in the curriculum. It has to have also this didactic implementation. It has to make sense before the technology is brought in. Otherwise, technology is something to play with, and for that, it's a little bit too expensive. So this is the most important sentence, and this is also what I wanted to put on the end of my presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Hello. Martin is back. Happy to see me. Good, because if you see me, that means we are moving forward with the event that we are having, the final conference of the VReduMED project, from vision to reality. Next up, we will have two speakers who are being set up right now, even though I see just one person. Krista, are you joining? I have you on the list. Okay, good. There is the microphone. And the speakers will be Professor Krista Moore from OTH Regensburg. Soon you will see her. And our colleague Anselm Stadler, who was one of the leaders in the workshops before the noon, specifically the one with the virtual reality for the body parts, the virtual anatomy. So please join me in the immersive learning, the VR educational concept presentation.
Thank you, Martin.
Yep, please, stage is yours.
Thank you. Okay. So thank you very much and welcome. We are from the OTH Regensburg in Bavaria in Germany, and today we talk about immersive learning and the VR educational concept. In the next 20 minutes, we talk about from the idea to implementation, and then to beginning VR to educational institutes, the skills and lesson structures, and in the end, looking ahead. Okay, and in the first steps, we heard a lot of the round table of workshops and train the trainer, because I talk now from the beginning of our project. One thing was clear. If we want to bring virtual reality into health education, we also have to think about teachers, about teaching and learning. That is why we involved the target groups very early, for example, in the round table, or in innovation workshops. And then we used these ideas to plan the train-the-trainer program, the train-the-trainer with all project partners. This program was helpful for teachers and trainers to learn how they use virtual reality on their own. On the last step, we brought the results into practice, the applications developed in the project, as well as good examples from other places. This happened through hands-on workshops or in Germany by leading the equipment. In short, we did not only develop technology, we built structures to make virtual reality useful, easy to use, and ready for the future in health education. At the last presentation from you, we heard a lot of why and what's the goal from this part from the project. So I think we can skip this, and we have more time for the main part. Here you can see the leading concept. In the beginning, we have for all partners on the care education forum and in the workshops, they can. I need some water. Okay. At the first step, there can be ordered the VR equipment online. In the next step, the schools can get loan the stuff. And so sorry for this. After that, a contract was signed on this point here. The schools, during the loan time, we traveled to the education places. There we trained the teachers in a half-day workshop, and then they get the equipment, classes, and applications for 6 weeks to test the application and the hardware. Then we built an online course for the teachers where they can look for some information, how to use it, and which application we have and where they can use this application. In the last step, we had a 1-hour interview and a survey. Astrid, you talk about the survey. In the next slide, you can see the equipment. You see the 3 MetaQuest classes and 2 types of mobile router with a mobile SIM card, because in some schools they have no good mobile phone or not good Wi-Fi, and so we get institutes better internet with mobile router. And the best practice, and as a best practice, in the project development applications. When we talk about technical setup, a few things are very important. We heard about a lot of Astrid by your presentation. First, choose the VR headsets with care. There are many different models on the market. Some work on their own, other needs a computer. So you have classes, you need a good computer or a good laptop, and other classes, they need no computer, and yeah, goes on. It's important that the software works well with the headset and that updates are available in the future. Second, a fast and good internet and internet connection. VR works best with a good Wi-Fi and, for example, a mobile router. Third, plan enough extra devices because maybe something doesn't run, and so you need in your school or in your extra classes. Then you need extra devices, for example, a tablet or a laptop, a screen, to show what you see in the classes. And it is important that not all systems allow sharing the application. So check it and then try it before you go in your class. Then the power and charging is also a key. Make sure that you have enough power banks or enough enough chargers to have enough speed. And one of the last thing is you need a room. You saw it in the workshops. VR need space. We need enough space in the room, and in the room you need a good light and no objects in the middle or in the way where you stay and you use VR. Finally, it is better to use test accounts instead personal data. For example, dummy 1, 2, dummy 3, 4, 5. This keep data safe to make setup easier. Okay, then we go in the VReduMED education forum.
And now I think I make a little bit summary and a little bit new topics. And my point is which required skills you need. And one point is professional skills. The other one is media didactics. We often hear about it. And Anselm told a lot of technical. I think it's not necessary to speak about technical required skills. And one point I think it's necessary to give them a little bit room is really legal basics. You can't forget you have a camera in your VR glasses, and it's really necessary to check up what is the data safety and what are the legal requirements. Okay, and here you see a checklist. This checklist is built from a student in their bachelor thesis, and she combined the literature, what she found in the literature, and the the end of the topics from our project, and I think it's very necessary to read it before you will start. And you find it in the handbook, and we heard a lot of them, but I want only to make a summary. It's that you can hear it a second time. It's really necessary to learning environment and safety. Anselm said it. It's really, it's necessary to have hygienic equipment, and you have really a good room. Then it's necessary the qualification of teaching staff. I think, I don't know which of you have do it once before, and it's really necessary to have knowledge how to use it. And the next one is didactic design. And there it's really necessary to clarify defined structure for preparation, simulation, reflection. The next one, evaluation on sustainability. I think here it's necessary to have really secure long-term funding and enables sustainable development. It's really nice to read this checklist because you have a lot of points you have to look and you have to transfer in the reality. Oh no, so yeah, and then you need an educational concept. Astrid said a lot of them. It's not, makes not sense you start with VR because you have VR. It's really necessary to have a didactic concept, why you use it, what you want to learn. And the technical framework, Anselm told a lot of them, and it's necessary the organization and cooperation. And I think one of the important things is really early coordination between teaching staff, IT, and school management. I think this is one of the really first necessary steps. And then the last point, responsibilities and prejudice. There is really, I think, important define responsibilities for educational and technical support. This is one experience we made. It's really necessary to have one person I always can go in contact and get information how I can use it when it's not working. Okay, and now it's very concrete. What can I do when I have the lessons, when I want to have it in my lessons? And here's a lesson structure. And I don't know if perhaps you know it from the skills lab. It's a little bit similar. The first step is to have a theoretical preparation. This means it's a very important alignment with relevant theoretical frameworks. There is important that the people have the knowledge which are necessary. Key concepts and learning objectives. Then the next step is pre-briefing, and this is which scenario do you take, task orientation, then the technical familiarization, role clarification. Please remember today, for example, CPR, it's really important to know which, what is my, what do I have to do now? And establish of a psychology and our physical safe learning environment. All the situation must be very safe. Then we are learning experience. You make the VR scenario. You have immersive active learning engagement, instructor monitoring and scaffolding. And then it's very important to have the last step debriefing. It's necessary to have a structured debrief reflection. Then to check theory practice integration, have I my aims, or can I reach them, and feedback and emotional processing. This is very important because you are really in VR, you don't have your environment, and you have a lot of emotional feelings, and it's important to speak about. And you always, I think it's similar like in the skills lab, and you always can make the decision. I think the first is always to have the theoretical preparation, and then you can thinking about, do you want to start with skills lab? Do you want to start with VR? Do you want to yes, have skills lab, then VR, and then you go in the practice? You can always changing it. Yes, and Astrid have shown us some conclusions from our research project, and here I have added values from the theory, and which are yes, the same solutions like we have found. And one is, for example, location independent learning. We can have multi-user, and our students, for example, say, okay, should we meet us in VR today? Do you have time? And I think that's a new, a new challenge. So, then the next one is higher concentration through immersion, fewer distractions. You don't have a chance to be on the handy, on the iPhone, or speak with some. You're in the VR, and you have to the solution, to find the solution. Then the next one is increase competence through practice, and that can be repeated as often as needed. I think this is very good, and yes, for the self-confidence, for the people, they are not under pressure. They can repeat it so often they want. And for example, we have a skills lesson, wound bandaging in the skills lab, and the teacher said we need 40 meters bandage. Verbandsmaterial, bandage material, yeah. Okay, and here now you can often repeat it, and it's, I think in the end it's cheaper. Then resource efficiency, do no material consumption, I told you, and reduce dependence on skills labs and actor patients. Yesterday we have a visit in your skills lab in the pedagogical center, and you told us you need a lot of people, a lot of actors that you can have skills lab experience. And what Astrid also say, multilingual learning, support for trainees with language challenges, and more confidence in actions, as it's a benefit. Yeah, and looking ahead 2026, 27, we want to do this, but I'm not sure if we can do this, but we are working on this way. We want to make integration of student develop VR application. You have see today Paneo VR 363 great, and this we want to work with them. Undergraduate nursing students develop their own nursing-related VR scenario, integrate professional nursing expertise with digital competencies. And the objective is sustainable integration of immersive learning in nursing education. And I think one point from our project is the sustainability, and this is one step to this one. Okay, and this is a sentence from Confucius, and now I want to end the speaker time. He said, what you tell me, I forget. What you show me, I remember. What you let me do, I understand. And I think we can do in the practice, we can do in Skills Lab, and we can do now something in the VR. And I think that it's one solution from our project. It's helpful to work in VR to be better in the practice. Okay, thank you.
That was a wonderful quote. So thank you very much, Christa, for your presentation. Come to an end to our conference, but one of the last topics is that we would like to share our recommendations for VR application with you. So we thought it's maybe a good idea to organize it as some kind of a round table. So now I would like to welcome one representative from each organization on stage, and I have prepared several questions, and so we will discuss them here on stage. So please, Matouš, Wojtek, Dominik, Astrid, Martin, Niels, Christa, Clara, and Tamás, please come on stage. You already got to know all of them already. here on stage or in the workshops. Martin, now you have been the moderator. Now you wear another hat and become a representative of Slovakia. I don't feel comfortable here. Let's go over there. I think we need to share the microphone so that also our online participants can follow. Okay, so I've prepared some questions. So the first one is, what is the most surprising insight you gained during the project, or what is the biggest learning experience? Okay, these are two questions, but you can just pick the one which you like more. So Dominic, you're standing left of me, so please start.
So I will do the start. Maybe I will answer the first question, right? What is like the biggest outcome or the biggest experience for me in this project is that the technology VR is actually affordable now. In my mind, before this project, VR was always very expensive. Like when I heard there is this HTC Vive goggle or something like this, which costs thousands of euros. We managed during the project to get classes which cost almost like a third of this, like 300 euros, which is quite affordable for a private use, I would say. So this is one of the biggest insights I got.
So Wojtek, what's your opinion?
I'm surprised a little bit. From this project, I'm very happy, and I did not expect it that we will be so much good team, and we will be able to prepare, mainly thanks to Tamás and Leos, to prepare really that the output will be the application, digital application, that we can manage this. For me, it's the biggest surprise. Yeah, I think yes. Yes, because I know lots of projects with no output, so this one. Thank you all.
So for me, the biggest surprise or learning was that the VR can be used also for other purposes than before the project started. I thought that the VR is a gaming device, that you can play games, shoot enemies, whatever. But this project actually has shown that it can be used for very beneficial purposes, and its possibilities are virtually endless. That you can train processes, you can show people, for example, how other people feel in some applications, for example, regarding dementia or many other things. And yeah, so my biggest lesson I learned from this is that it's not only an entertainment thing, but it can be used also very efficiently for education purposes.
My best experience is when people have the first contact with VR glasses. They take the glasses and check the controllers, and then it takes not long time, then they smile. Then you have a smiling, and it looks very good. And I think that's the best way to learn.
And I think if the stakeholders smile, you smile.
Yeah, for me, big learning was also that at the beginning of the project, I thought that VR content is only developed by specialists. And nowadays, when we look at some solutions like Paneo VR, which provides also VR content done by people not having this programming knowledge, and they can do within some hours good VR content suiting to their needs. This is somehow really challenging.
Well, the biggest learning path for me was to actually experience how many things has to be right in a simple hospital room, even in a seemingly a seemingly simple setup, so many things has to be right for the patient to be safe and to be properly cared for. And also, I really like the tendency how people experiences VR apps, our apps and other apps as well. It has shown today also that so many people had a very shy approach towards the thing. They didn't want to try it out, but when they actually forced themselves to try it out, then they didn't want to put it down. So it was really, really fascinating and really good. It was a really nice feedback for me.
Yeah, one thing that I was worried about, that somebody's going to steal my answer, and that just happened. But yeah, I wanted to say exactly the same thing, that we also during the rollout events and pilot actions, we saw that very often the digital youth, which you would be expecting like, oh yeah, VR headset, I know what it is, I want to do it. No, they were very often like, I'm not sure if I want to. I'm just going to be watching from distance. But once it happens, it goes quite well, fortunately. So that leaves the space open. And I suggest to everybody, give VR headsets to anyone you know, even to experience the basic, like the gaming apps, as Matouš said, just to break the barrier. And then suddenly it becomes a very good learning tool, which was also confirmed by the analysis with it. And then the second part was, like, once we were at the schools and we were testing it, the staff was usually very happy about it, but said like, yeah, but as we have more students and the students want that, we can buy more headsets. Like, the financial issue with it can go a bit to the side, but then comes, we do not have enough people, and that opens the door for further train-the-trainer possibilities. So the education of adult, like, teachers and stuff, like, okay, so the machine can go rolling further and further and further.
Okay, when we started the project in 2023, I was really surprised that so few applications were already on the market. I was used to work with the VR classes for some years already, and for the doctors, for some of the doctors, in the industrial area, there were a lot of applications already available, but for the medical education sector, I guess in the whole Germany, there were like 2 or 3 who only offer this kind of applications, and they were, let's say, on a moderate quality level. So when you search the market now, you see that you have a lot of different options you just not had 3 years ago. So hopefully some of that is our contribution to it, and I hope that it will be possible to just find more suitable solutions now in the App Store.
So what was a surprise and new for us, as Inoshkart is responsible for the communication activities, everything was new for us. So I think I can tell that we were feeling like Alice in Wonderland among all these experts. So I would like to express my great appreciation to the colleagues, because I've learned so much in the last 3 years that I'm really excited about VR and healthcare and everything. So, and the biggest added value for me was, as a mother of 2 university students, is that education must be modernized in the way that it's more digestive for the upcoming generations. So I think it's a great way to do it and make it somehow more attractive to the generation. We don't know exactly how we're going to use this and how we're going to even refine it. So I'm really eager to know what will come out of our project, and I think it's not just about sustainability, but also about curiosity, what will follow up. So thank you so much.
Thank you as well. And I have a second question for you, because the topic on the agenda is called recommendations. So, of course, I would like to know, what recommendations do you have for all of us being here in the room, and, of course, for the online participants?
Should I start again?
If you like, please.
Recommendations. As communication leaders, we were in close contact to many stakeholders within our stakeholder events, and recommendation would be keep up the work, and don't let these barriers distract us from really using the VR in the everyday education, and making also all other parts you have mentioned, making the sensitivity for the healthcare actors, and also making patients understand more their diseases and whatever. So I think just going on.
Yeah, I can just add to that. I guess it works in nearly all of our countries. It's like you have to kiss a few frogs in order to find your prince or princess, and that's with the apps as well. You sometimes see a not so appealing app in the App Store and you don't dare to try it. You look from just a preview and say, no, don't try that one. But in order to get some good things, you must try. So keep on playing, keep on trying new things, trying new apps, invest some time there, and then sometimes you find the app perfectly matching for your needs, perfectly matching for your type of education, for your type of even playing, depending on what you are currently doing.
Great answer from Niels. Again, I'm still on the bit, but yeah. No, I'm going to repeat myself, as I said before. VR headsets. Get them, use them. Give them to your friends, give them to your family. I'm planning in my head for, it's about a year now, that I'm gonna give it to my mom to experience because she didn't. And yeah, like everyone should try it and give them the experience, because very often the general public can hear about virtual reality, but even as I said before with the young students, if I come to the class and like, yeah, this is the VR CPR, this is the room of horror, whatever. Have you tried VR headset before? Only, let's say, 20 to 30% of people raise their hand. There is still a huge market potential. And I don't mean financial market right now, even though that is somewhere there. This is the University of Economics speaking from me. But yeah, there is still a huge potential of people, human capital, to get into the virtual reality technology. So anyone you know, and if you have a headset by your side, hey, do you want to try this? It's fun. Do it. First one is free, right?
Yeah. Well, connecting to that thought, I really recommend to try out the applications that we have shown you, that we developed during the project, and try out all the other applications that we showed and we discovered during the mapping, because it's worth it. Try to get your hands on a VR headset. Maybe ask your local representative who was in the project. Maybe she or he can help with that issue. And of course, keep an eye on the website, because the project is not over yet. We have still things that we would like to publish, and I think even for most projects or many projects, there are outputs that are so, let's say, technical, so detailed, so many pages for documents that you don't want to really read through them. But I think our handbook won't be that kind of boring read. It won't be that long, and it will focus on the important things that we discussed today and that we have discovered together during this project. So I really encourage you to read it when it will be ready.
Yeah, and for us, I think I just want to add about these things about try out VR glasses, but also keep an eye open on technology in general, because I think there is more to come. We have AI already being implemented in different things. We have other technologies that should be implemented, and one second thought, much money and much funding is open for doctors, for supporting high-level research projects. I think we all should also think about that this money and this funding should go into care education and in supporting care in general, and not only fund doctors, because a doctor cannot without care be successful in a hospital, and we know that this sector needs more support and more also more background to have these things that they need be also on the table of our society.
Yeah. My point is a little bit similar. Now, for me, if you want to integrate VR in your curriculum, it's necessary to have the head of the institution really behind you, because it's really necessary to have the money, to have the support, and yes, that all the people really want to do this. Because in the end you have a 2 years period and it's over, it's dead, and that's not the aim of this all. As a really, if you want it, all the people have to want it.
Well, there's not much left for me to recommend. However, many times it was said that just try virtual reality. As a representative of the local company of the South Bohemia Science and Technology Park, we are host of one of those virtual reality labs, as mentioned in many of these presentations. So whenever you feel that you could have an idea about what can be used in virtual reality, or you would like just to try out what is it all about, the VR lab is open for us. Just let us know, contact the JVTP, and together we can think of potential solutions, recommendations, or just show off the possibilities of the VR.
I don't know what to say more, because all education institutions were. I can definitely recommend to use these applications in training CPR and Room of Horror, definitely, and the handbook, of course, and the roadmap and everything. And I think I can recommend to use not just VR, but the technology at all in our education, because if we not, but we must be critical, that's for sure, but we have to use it because students, children, the new generation see all around the world that everybody using VR, AR, everything. And if schools don't, so they don't have a trust in our institution because, hey, why don't use this technology, and everywhere, yes. So my recommendation, use technology, don't be afraid of technology, but be critical for technology.
So I have the honor to give the last answer. Famous last words.
Don't be afraid, don't be afraid.
Okay, so my recommendation is more a general recommendation for pretty every project. Yeah, as I said in my slot, involve the stakeholders, talk to the stakeholders. They add so much value, they add so much content which you can work with within the project. And besides that, yeah, I can only agree with my colleagues here. Be open for new technology, be open for innovation, and yeah, don't be afraid of any change, but be critical. And yeah, if you are interested in VR or want to try it out, don't be afraid to contact us, contact VReduMED, and we will stay in contact with you. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you very much. Well, I didn't know that Christa's, or the slide of Christa's presentation, the last slide of Christa's presentation is Confucius, but I think that it fits perfectly to our words. So I think we all have the same opinion. So do it, use VR, try it, and it will help you to understand. So thank you very much for sharing your experiences, for your recommendations, and yeah, for working together so well during the whole project. Thank you very much. Okay, but now we definitely come to the last topic of our agenda. Thank you very much. Only Matouš, I think the honor will be yours. Yes, you had the honor of the first presentation, and now you have the honor of the last one. And I would think that you would like to share some closing words for us. So the stage is yours again.
Thank you, Anja. So we came to the end. With all those smart and inspirative words having been said, there's not much left to be said. I don't want to start like philosophical ideas here. Anyway, I would like to thank you very much for participation to this conference. I really hope that you are taking home some new knowledge, some inspiration, some thoughts on how to use VR, how to make use of it in your daily, in your work especially. And I hope that we will have an occasion to meet again at some stage in future, hopefully in some follow-up project or follow-up activity that will develop the topic of VR even further. Maybe we will come up with fresh ideas as the technology evolves, as has been said many times before. Maybe in a couple of years we will have completely different and much wider opportunities and options to what can be included in VR. And yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for participation, and I really hope that it was helpful for you and you got some inspiration from us. Thank you very much.